I'm Nina Vergis, and you're watching iJournalist. For the past few episodes, we've shown you one story per week done by students from the School of Technology for the Arts at Republic Polytechnic. This week, we have a special treat for you, a double bill feature. We will show you not one, but two stories done by our rookie reporters. Coming up, the story of a horse rider who never let cerebral palsy get into his way of living life to the max.
Cerebral palsy, or CP, it is actually brain damage, or it is also lack of muscle control. I found out I was different since I was quite young. I don't know, I guess 4 years old. I guess it was pretty obvious. Over time, I just ignored it. I just learned to ignore it. Hi, I'm Max and I'm a dressage rider. I take part in competitions in England, Australia, and this year in Hong Kong. Dressage is something like ice skating on a horse, except it is not on ice, it is on sand.
Okay, Max, tell us more about your condition.
I was born premature, and at that time of birth, my mom was in distress. So I was also in distress, and I was given lack of oxygen, and so some of the brain cells that control my leg muscles died. Actually, cerebral palsy, since it is lack of muscle control, when I was young, it affected my arms, my hands, my upper body, and as well as my legs, and as well as my speech.
How did your schoolmates reacted when they see you?
In primary school, I would use a buggy, which is something like a stroller. Younger kids will say, "Oh my goodness, it's so big in school, in a stroller like a baby, ayo." There was one boy, I was telling him what my condition is and telling him, "Oh, it's called spasticity," and he, from then onwards, he just make fun of me and say, "Oh, spastic boy, spastic boy." Of course, I did feel hurt when he said that.
How and when did you pick up the sport?
When I was young, my dad would put me on a horse and then try out horseback riding. They were saying, "Oh, there's this horseback riding association, which is the RDA," and they were talking about how horseback riding can actually help in physiotherapy purposes. I enjoyed horseback riding as a form of physio, and then slowly I progressed to a competition level.
Who is your role model and why?
Actually, my sister. She's also a sportsman. She's one of the captains for the National Women's Water Polo team. And because she's able to balance her studies, and she was a prefect, everything that she does is like, wow to me. So I'm always trying to be like, okay, when I grow up, I must be like at that level where she is.
So tell us, how do you feel about being Max's role model?
Well, I'm very honoured. Yeah, but as far as possible, I always try to, encourage him to actually go out with his friends, try to socialise a lot more with people around.
So how do you actually spend time together?
I will try to bring him out to watch a movie, or I brought him swimming also, as well. Yeah, without my parents' supervision though, Or at night also, I will try to bring him out for a drink or two.
You mentioned that you went out for a drink or two with Max. What were the reaction you received from the members of the public?
We do actually get some stares from the public. We were going to one of the more popular nightclubs here in Singapore, and he actually told me that he was not allowed to enter the club. So I was like, this is impossible. This is like one of the best clubs here in Singapore, and you're telling me that this club actually discriminates against the disabled? It's actually stated in the management rules that they do not allow people with crutches or wheelchair to enter the club. So I was really very appalled when I heard that. They also mentioned that the reason why they did so was because they were afraid, that if there was any accidents that happened in the club, then they'll be held responsible for those accidents.
I know the dangers of me going into that club. I know what are the factors, what are the risk factors for myself.
The responsibility should lie with the disabled. I mean, they are the ones who will know for themselves whether they are safe enough to enter a place like that, and not up to the management. In doing so, right, it's more like it's a visible discrimination, you know.
I think I'm more protective of him than anybody else in the family. But at the same time, I push him quite a bit.
How do you feel about your parents being too protective over Max?
He's going to grow up. He's actually a grown-up already, but he's got a lot more to grow up to. And, I mean, what's going to happen then? He has to be independent sooner or later.
I was pretty concerned. Will he be able to talk? Will he be able to walk? But most importantly is, whether he will be independent.
When Max was born, the doctor was very upfront with us and told me that the chances of him making it is very slim. So when he got out of it, now he's 20 years old already. So every day, every year that he's around, for me is a bonus.
Have you heard any hurtful remark?
When he was about 7 years old, he still couldn't walk, so I have to push him to school in a stroller. And I always get remarks like, "Oh my God, he's such a big boy and he's a stroller." I can't help it but to shout back and raise my voice and say that if he can walk, he would surely walk.
End of the day, remarks is how you take it, right? You want to hurt yourself, then you take it too hard. But you can just shut it out.
As a parent of a disabled child, what do you hope people will be more aware of?
People need help. Do not be afraid to offer help. Do not think, should I help or shouldn't I help? It's better to offer and get rejected than to not offer at all.
Firstly, they should be more aware that there are such people like my brother around in the community. And it's very important for them to realize that these people have to be integrated into the community.
My wish for the future is to take part in the Paralympics.
Actually, I'm just hoping that, that he'll be able to get a decent job.
Disabled people do not stay at home and just sleep in bed, right? They go out as well, they have a life. They are just like any other person. I think everybody is disabled in some way, except that a physically disabled person is more visible.
Everyone like him has a right to have their own fun.
After the break, Max goes back to the club that allegedly turned him away. Find out what happened this time round.